Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Hiral Dadia. We have RS Sodhi, MD Gujarat Cooperative Milk Marketing Federation that owns brand Amul joining in. Uh, Firstly, Mr. Sodhi, one thing that I have to come and tell you is the kind of nostalgia that you have got back amongst all of us who've actually grown up seeing those Amul ads, listening to those Amul advertisements alongside shows like Ramayana and Mahabharat. That has been spectacular. I mean, it's been a brand right now which is now visible on the shelves and on different mediums because majority of the FMCG brands had cut down on their spending. And I think Amul has used a brilliant idea, got the nostalgia back amongst all of us.
Yeah, thank you, Hiralji. Because I think this was the right moment to keep your brand visible on all the media, especially the TV, when whole family is sitting before a TV and you are getting very uncluttered and totally focused viewing. So we thought, why not invest at this moment, especially the old epic serials like Ramayana and Mahabharata, and it has really paid us big dividends because Ramayana has been got the more than 77 million views on 16th April, which is the largest TRP in the history of world. So I think our decision has been correct. And as well as advertising on this, when others are not advertising, frankly speaking, we don't understand why others stop. Because you see, like Amul is 74 years brand, so there are other brands. So our relationship with our millions of consumers are like a family relationship. For generations, they are with us.
Correct.
And you don't stop communicating with your family members when he is or she is in distress or you are in distress. Rather, it is the right time to tell them that you are here to look after you. Second is investment in the brand building or in advertising is long-term investments. And naturally, one should do long-term investments when you are getting good bargain.
Correct.
So this was the right moment. Thirdly, sitting at home right from morning to evening breakfast does your doing very media on
Right. So tell me one thing, if you have to talk about the marketing expense as well, in these times, the rack rate that these, the platforms must be charging would have been really low as compared to daily rack rates that they give. Do you think you've got the most benefit in the least cost in terms of marketing?
Yeah. To get, I can't tell you the exact figure, but I can tell you to get the same gross rating point, we have spent 1/10.
Oh, okay.
So we got 10x, value. Not only, you see, it's a TRP, it is also the uncluttered and uninterrupted family viewership. And the whole generation, I mean, 3-4 generations sitting before TV and watching. And I think that was the right thing which we did. And also besides Ramayana and Mahabharata, in fact, the first week of March, we decided that we should double our spend on the news channel across all, Hindi, English, all regionals, internationals, because we saw that this corona is spreading like anything in not only China and Europe, etc. And everybody want to know and hearing, watching news maximum. So we diverted a lot of our budget from GEC channels to the news channel, and we doubled it also, and got in turn we got good bargain also. It's not only doubling, bargain also.
So if you have to look at business right now, especially in the month of March, April, and now that May has started, have you seen a spike in demand? Because again, this is one of the necessities, one of the essentials that we're looking at. Vis-a-vis, if you talk to a lot of FMCG players, they have seen a decline, at least in terms of volumes.
Well, Hiralji, because milk is essential, as you see, we have got three types of products, or we call it product categories. One is our fresh product, milk, dahi, or buttermilk is there.
Correct.
In that, we saw 20% spike in demand because of panic buying, then reduction in demand to 30%. Then again, demand going up, it was 15% low about a fortnight back. The reason is because this Horeca hotel, restaurant, chai shops closed, and a lot of people migrated back to the villages.
Correct.
And but now I can say our fresh product, milk or buttermilk or dahi, demand is more or less same what it was pre-COVID. Because what we have seen, whatever 15% loss we have made in the hotel, restaurant, chai shop, that much we are gaining the household consumption. Because you see, human consumption of food is same. If you are having tea outside, you are having at home. If you are eating in the restaurants, having the baked vegetable or anything outside, you are having at home. So consumption is same. But major surprise came to us when the demand of our major dairy products, butter, ghee, cheese, paneer, it increased even Tetra Pak milk from 20 to 50%. I mean, paneer and cheese increased 30 to 50%. Tetra Pak milk also, butter, ghee by 20%. And that is mainly because people are consuming more at home. People
Correct.
are using these products and ingredients for making lot of recipes, watching on YouTube.
Correct.
And each family member is doing it. So that is. Yeah, but there are certain categories where demand has declined also initially too much, like ice creams. Declined initially by 95%, then it came up to 85. Now today it is still ice cream sale is minus 65 because people were fearing some, people were scared using chilled or frozen
Correct.
product. But gradually that doubts are getting over because Ayush Ministry and everything clarified that ice cream is good. I mean, with the chilled product, you are not spreading corona. So that is gaining day by day. Shops are also gradually opening. So, and availability is also, you see, ice cream is basically question of availability. That too afternoon or evening hours when shops are closed. So I can say now, overall, if you see, we have not lost. What little bit, whatever we lost in some category, we have gained in another category. So we are able to maintain our volume or the turnover growth.
Right. So if you can tell me, are we trying to say that whatever Amul did in terms of institutional sales, which has been lost, if you have to talk from the hospitality perspective, if you have to talk about the hawkers who are selling tea on the streets, if you talk about the sandwich tailors, if you have to accumulate all of that lost demand has been taken over by, household consumption?
Yeah, definitely 100%. It may have changed from category to category. I mean, if we have lost little bit in, suppose the diced cheese, which is a Horeca, I mean, or we have lost in Amul cream, which is also a major ingredient for catering, whether using 1 liter pack. So that much gain we have made in some other category. We have lost a lot of in institutional pack, like dahi big pack, milk big pack. But that much growth has come in the small pack sizes, which is being consumed at the home. So overall consumption, but only thing in our case is that we are getting more milk because small players are not collecting milk. This is the mithai shop fellow, small ice cream fellow. They are not collecting milk from the farmers. So we are getting 15% more milk. So as such, we are producing more. We are selling same. So we have got some surplus milk, which we are converting into commodities like skimming powder or white butter.
So right now, Mr. Sodhi, if you talk about demand, yes, for a few category of products, the demand has gone up. I mean, all of us, when we used to be in office, our demand used to come from there. So our procurement itself in terms of milk, paneer, cheese, everything from a household perspective has gone up. Now, with regards to where demand supply goes, is there a mismatch or the supplies have been absolutely perfect to meet the demand right now?
Well, you see, before COVID or now, supply depends upon the milk production. So that has not changed. Let me tell you, with the lockdown coming, cows and buffaloes are not stopped giving milk. So same milk is coming. Only thing is the milk which was going to the unorganized sector, that is now more milk is coming to the organized sector like cooperatives like us. So that milk is coming 15% more. Sale of our dairy products is more or less same. So we have got the surplus, but somebody is having deficit because they have closed down. So as the things open up, these players will start procuring milk. So we'll get that much less milk. So as far as demand is same, what it used to be during summer last year or every year, supply side has increased with the private or with the organized player like us.
Correct. And overall, right now, I was just reading wherein, Amul will have to start paying 2 rupees as TDS for 100 worth of cash payments that they will be making to the new dairy farmers who will be joining the network on the request of Gujarat and Maharashtra government. On a yearly basis, if this continues, what's the kind of impact to be seen in terms of milk prices, and how much extra will be Amul spending then?
Well, you see, the last Ministry of Finance, the notification, what they said is any withdrawal more than 1 crore by any institutions, bankers have to deduct under 190 about 2% TDS. So what has happened now? Banks are not working properly, your staff is not there. So farmers are not able to go to the bank to withdraw the money. So what our cooperative societies are withdrawing money and paying cash to the farmers.
Correct.
Whether members or non-members. So on an average, our each society's annual payment is around 2.5 crore. So naturally, most of the societies are disbursing more than 1 crore. So now banks are deducting 2% TDS. So this TDS naturally, milk cooperative societies are exempted from the income tax. Okay. So naturally, they have to claim the refund. And refund will take 1 or 2 years. So that much working capital of a farmer's cooperative society is blocked. So it will in fact, cash flow will get disturbed. And naturally some payment, milk prices also be impacted. But I think we are taking up with the matter of the Ministry of Finance that like APMC, milk cooperatives should also be exempted from this 2% deducts on cash withdrawal more than 1 crore rupees.
Right. So, but right now, if you could just help us understand in terms of the lockdown period, how much milk is Amul procuring if you have to take the last 2 months into consideration? And if that total milk, on that total milk that you've procured, what could be the payout if you have to pay that 2 rupees TDS?
Well, you see, every day we collect around 250 or 260 lakh liters of milk. Okay. And it is 15% more generally. We are getting the same milk what we were getting in the first week of March or last week of April. Generally, because of summer, milk production should reduce. And on an average, every day we are paying around 120 to 130 crore rupees to the farmers every day.
Okay.
So you can imagine if 2% is blocked. So 120 ka 2%, it is around 2.5 crore rupees. Okay. And over a year time, it will be more than 800 to 900 crore rupees blocked only in TDS.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a big amount, at least in this period of time when there is.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
But are you expecting any positivity in terms of the?
Yeah, we are taking up the issue with the Ministry of Finance and with the various levels. I think something will work out. We are hopeful.
Right. And with regards to milk prices as well, how have they moved in the month of April right now, especially in terms of procurement and in terms of sales?
Well, you see, as far as procurement prices are concerned, where organized player like Amul is working, we are paying the farmers same money. There has been no reduction. But states like Maharashtra, UP, Haryana, MP, where organized players are not very strong, or cooperatives like us are not very strong, especially in Maharashtra. There, farmers who were getting 32 rupees for a cow milk before COVID, that is pre-COVID, now same milk farmer is getting 20 to 23 rupees Although we are not doubled our milk procurement in Maharashtra, and we are paying around 27 to 29 rupees a liter.
Okay.
So what has happened is, where the unorganized player, more a small player or private player, their farmers are at loss. So let me tell you, milk is the agriculture produce.
Correct.
So whatever lower price farmers are getting, that much will impact the production, and again same buyer has to pay the higher price after some time. So because it will impact the production, because farmers are going to feed less to the cattle and the buffaloes. So, but I think within 30 or 40 days, price paid to the farmers will increase. You see, it is going to happen in all the perishable, because as the lockdown is announced, whether poultry, fruits, vegetable, or milk, where product could not reach to the consumer, farmers lost. So naturally, farmers are going to invest less in the perishable. So in coming 2, 3, 4 months, consumers have to pay more for this thing.
Correct.
And as far as the consumer price is concerned, there is no change. We have not increased price of any product, nor there is any need to increase the price of any milk or milk products.
Right, but are you expecting an increase on this front, at least in the next couple of days?
No. Looking to the present context, I don't think, and the overall milk availability and the pricing trend and the consumption, I don't foresee any increase in the consumer price of any of the dairy products.
Right. And overall, with this price move that we've been talking about, how has been the impact on cheese and other value-added products? Do we see any impact on margins for Amul, or not even Amul alone, for other milk, milk companies as well?
Well, Hiroji, as far as, like I said, demand for cheese has gone up.
Correct.
But that is household consumption.
Correct.
And when you talk about household consumption, there are special SKU or packs are for the household: 100 gram, 200 gram, 500 gram, cheese slices, cheese cube, or cheese block 200 gram. And there are more than 50% demand is of us from the HoReCa segment. All these pizza manufacturers, all these restaurants. Amul is mainly we are catering 90% to the household consumption. So we are lucky that that demand has gone. But a lot of private players, they are either to the HoReCa segment catering, like pizza people, or through modern trade. Both have suffered. Modern trade. So we are lucky that we are mainly from general trade. Modern trade is there, e-commerce is there. Okay, but general. What has happened in the last 3-4 years, number of brands have come mainly concentrating on HoReCa and the MFS or the e-commerce. So, so everybody has to look for now distribution in the through general trade to the household consumption.
Right. So if you could just help me understand over here, now that the demand has gone up, Mr. Sodhi, if you have to look at FY20, what's the kind of growth that you are expecting?
I mean, we are last 10 years of our growth rate is around 17-18%. Last year also we grown by 17%. This year definitely we have to grow by 17%. Reason is simple. We are getting 15% more milk. Even if there is no price increase, already there is in the last year there has been pricing in December and afterwards. So that is going to impact. So with the 4-5% price increases already happened and 15% more milk, definitely will get the minimum growth of 17 to 18%.
Okay, so that's the kind of growth they're expecting. And what will lead this growth? Is it going to be mainly coming in? Which categories, will actually lead to this kind of growth?
See, when we get milk from the farmers, we have to convert it into any product, whether milk, dahi, curd, cheese, paneer, baby food, dairy whitener, ghee, butter. So, milk demand will not increase more than 5 to 7%, 8%. Normal increases there. But we are expecting good growth in the value-added products like ghee, butter, cheese, paneer. There's a reason, especially the ghee, butter. Now consumer is going to buy more food which is natural based. Second is which is also immunity booster. And third, very important, is affordable. Because India is a country of lower middle class. And with this income levels getting impacted, incomes got impacted. So people are going to reduce their spending on the food. But with the same spending, they are going to buy more. See, I mean, if you are spending 100 rupees outside in a restaurant for food, with the same 100 rupees, you can buy 2 to 3 times more quantity for the household consumption. So quantity of food is going to be consumed more, especially if it is natural, affordable, and nutritious. And naturally, they are going to look at the hygiene and other things, and most important, reliable brand. Because health is the major issue. Hygiene is the major issue. So what we force is that in all our value-added consumer products, dairy products, demand volume growth of 10 to 20, 30% will come. And we have got milk, we have got the distribution setup already in place. We are catering to general trade is revived very well. Modern trade is able to come back. In some cities, they are doing very good job, but some major cities, they are not able to perform. E-commerce has doubled, but their major total share is very small. So base is very small. So we are very optimistic for the next year because of fear in food.
Right. So that's a good point that you've made right now. Secondly, with regards to where the procurement of buffalo milk and cow milk goes, earlier also when we've spoken to you, I mean, the numbers have been slightly lower. Do you think lower prices is something which will actually help you revive your production facilities with regards to milk powder?
You see, milk powder, there are 2 types of milk powder. One milk powder which you are making for the consumer pack. We have got dairy whitener, we have got baby food, we have got skim milk powder. So that demand will continue and that is growing and that will grow more faster because the price increase is minimum. The balance we make commodity skim milk powder or home milk powder also for our own captive consumption. That is being used basically when looking to the how much surplus milk we have got and what price is there. Now with skim milk powder prices going around more than 300 rupees pre-COVID. So naturally demand reduced by 1/3 or 1/4 because all the industry players who were earlier buying skim milk powder at 130 or 140 or 150 rupees, they thought it is better to buy milk than buying expensive skim milk. So skim milk powder is traded or purchased only when it is cheaper than the milk prices. Because you can change the recipe. Any ice cream fellow can buy milk and so what happened now, milk price is slightly going down, and skim milk powder also going down. But that is a very, very temporary. In the future, but after 25-30 days, again, as the raw milk price is going up, skim milk powder demand will increase. And skim milk powder prices, which have gone down now a little bit, will go up.
Right. So that's an interesting point. Now, with all of this, if you have to look at supply chain, because that's another important factor that needs to be considered. How is that panning out for Amul? And are you seeing an increased cost on the back of supplies or has it remained the same?
So supply chain, if you talk about Amul supply chain, our supply chain is not like other FMCG, other product which you talk about factory to the. Our supply chain start from the cow, where we collect milk every day from 3.6 million farmers twice in a day by using 5,000 road milk tankers. So what we have seen is when this lockdown was announced, just to encourage that there is no disruption, after communicating the purpose of this, our milk as essential, we provided incentives. We started giving around 20 to 50% more wages or more transportation charges or more margin to our supply chain members, whether it's a distributor or transporter or C&M. So one is that. Second, you see, like I said, we have got 3 types of product categories. So we found milk is doing well, dairy product, butter, cheese also doing very well. But these supply chains are under pressure because the window available for the distribution is only 2 to 6 hours in the different cities. The other side, our ice cream supply chain was lying idle. And because they have the infrastructure, the transport is there, working capital there, manpower. So what we did is we diverted our ice cream supply chain also to the dairy products and fresh product. So we got two benefits. It's a win-win for us. For us, benefit is that we could service better way, efficiently, because our existing supply chain members were not able to meet the demand. And these people, our distributors and C&F, the storage, cold storage, they got benefit that they got the business. So you can say optimal utilization of all the three supply chain highways by using the flexibility. And cost-wise, I don't see now in future cost of supply chain is increased, because you read now the diesel and petroleum prices not increased. I mean, no doubt crude prices are going, but so is the duties or taxes are going. But overall real estate price will not go. So warehousing cost will not increase. I don't expect increase in wages also, labor wages also. So supply chain cost is not going to increase in the future.
Okay. And from the packaging material side of it, I think a lot of FMCG companies, including Britannia, Amul, that we've been hearing, have been facing constraints and shortages, especially if you talk about the corrugated outer boxes, the other packaging material. How are you dealing with that? Because again, is it that, you have started looking at alternative vendors as well for the same? Or, I mean, how do you manage that?
No, this is not a time when you're in distress looking for the divorcing your existing partner, going for new. See, basically in dairy, one main packaging material is the milk film, plastic film. Fortunately, we have got our own plant, which is India's biggest milk film plant at Gujarat, and we source the granules from Reliance. So there was absolutely no problem in getting granules or making film and dispatching it all over India, all over, because we have a plant all over India, Delhi, Bombay, Calcutta. So absolutely. Coming to the packaging material like boxes or cartons or the cups and other thing, you see each plant is having, generally having inventory of 7 to 10 days. So as soon as this lockdown was announced, the first reaction we got from the packaging material supplier that the local authority is not allowing the working of their packaging units, because it is not very clear that packaging material suppliers are also under essential. So we took up the matter with the Ministry of Home Affairs. We got the clarification done. We got the notification done. Then we talked to we got the addresses of all our packaging material suppliers, gave it to Ministry of Animal Husbandry. Ministry of Animal Husbandry gave the list to all the respective collectors all over India, whether Maharashtra or UP or Punjab, and those collectors are advised to ensure that these packaging material manufacturers who are supplying to essential product industry, they should be allowed to work. And I mean, Tetra Pak, who is a major supplier of Tetra Pak, we could start their plant in Pune within 3 days of announcement of lockdown. Same is our Karak and the supply tin manufacturer. Within 4 days, we got them started. I mean, but it was done one by one. Wherever problems came, we have to talk to the inspector. But within 1 week, packaging material supply was normal. Absolutely, there was no problem.
Right. Another thing I want to check with you, Mr. Sodhi, is especially in terms of where the skimmed milk powder goes. I know we spoke about it earlier, but I think before lockdown, skimmed milk prices had crashed. I think they went down to almost around 240, 250 rupees per kilo from being somewhere above that 300 rupees mark. What is the sense that you're picking up on this front right now?
Like I said, Hiralji, milk production has not increased. So is neither milk consumption has reduced. Only due to disruption, this commodity prices have gone up because of working capital problem with the manufacture of the commodities. So what was pre-COVID more than 300, it is now 240. But I feel after COVID, all things has settled, skim milk prices will be around 270 to 300, approximately that. Because the reason is simple. We do not have surplus milk in India, nor we have got deficit. So hand to mouth condition and consumption of dairy products going to go up. That is you market, one form or other, for which you require milk, if milk or milk powder, whatever thing. So whatever you see is a very, very temporary. You will see within 30 days, price of milk or skim milk powder available in the market will go up, whether in Maharashtra or any other part of it.
Right. So, Mr. Sodi, if we are so much hand to mouth as well in terms of milk products, you know, let me take one question with regards to USA and other Western countries. The consumption of milk is coming down. They are looking to actually export their products as well, you know, but Indian dairies are opposing it. What's the reason for that?
I mean, simple. First thing is, no doubt Europe, USA or all dairy rich country or economically developed country, they have a surplus food and dairy is one part. And like in New Zealand, they export 95% of their produce and there are only 10,000 farmers. For them, dairy is a business. In India, dairy is a source of livelihood.
Correct.
For 100 million farmers or families. So if you import cheap from New Zealand or USA, so naturally our farmers will stop keeping cattle or buffaloes or cows or buffaloes, and they'll be out of their livelihood. So do you have alternative to provide these people any source of livelihood?
Correct.
You see, then you have asked very relevant question. Today's context is it has become more. First thing is, let me also clarify. Demand or consumption of dairy products not gone up only in India. Just 3 days back, I was on a Zoom call with all our counterparts world over. Okay. Each country representative, but all the major dairy company, big. Everybody was surprised that in each country, demand of dairy products have gone, even milk has gone up 10 to 30%. Europe, US, everybody is saying demand has gone. Because everybody, but still USA or Europe or New Zealand a lot of surplus. So what is going to happen? After COVID, as I said, farmers got low prices for perishable product, whether milk, poultry, fruits and vegetables. So temporary production will suffer. Temporary price of all this perishable will go up. You mark within few days, poultry price will jump like anything. Same in fruits and vegetables. And in milk also, in some states where farmers got bad deal, they could not sell. So their prices are going to. So what is going to happen? Lot of consumer lobbies we're going to cry that prices have gone up. And then USA and Europe will ask, they'll twist government of India policymaker to allow free import of food from these countries. I'm not talking about dairy. Correct. A lot of other agriculture produce.
Absolutely.
So this is a testing time for our policy makers that after COVID, we should not buckle down to the pressure of cheap import of food from these surplus countries. Correct. We have to see how to protect Indian farmers, how to see that Indian farmer produces more. For some time, our consumer may have to pay slightly more price, but ultimately we should not come under pressure of cheap imports after COVID.
Absolutely. I mean, the farmers and the agriculture sector is the backbone of the economy, and that needs to be really supported well to revive the economy. And lastly, Mr. Sodi, what's I mean, you know, another trend that's picking up right now is with A2 ghee, A2 milk. Anything, any plans that Amul has to enter this category as well? I'll tell you why I ask you this is, A2 was something, to my understanding, is milk that comes from Gir cows. Now, Gir cows have always been into existence in India, but why suddenly this flash coming out saying that A2 is something which is the best?
Well, you see, A2 milk or A1 milk is a type of protein in the milk, which varies from breed to breed. And some countries and some manufacturers started using this as a marketing gimmick, A2. But let me, you are right, the Gir cow ghee or milk is A2, so too is the buffalo.
Hmm.
100% buffalo milk or product is A2. All Indian breeds are A2. Even the imported Holstein Friesian, 50% cows give A2, 50% A1. So in India, whatever milk is produced or whatever dairy products you are buying, 90% is made out of A2 milk.
Really?
Ah,
So why this sudden surge where, so are you saying it's a marketing gimmick by majority
yeah.
of these milk
It's
producers saying that this is I mean, this is milk coming from the Gir cow and it's not Switzerland cows?
No, we are in for it. We have also launched in Ahmedabad some A2. We are in for it because ours is A2 milk. But scientifically, it's extremely difficult. We have not come across such any evidence that A2 protein is better than A1 protein.
That's an interesting point, and good. I thought of something like this as well. And what's Amul's long-term plan, Mr. Sodhi, in terms of chocolates? What's the kind of market share you're looking to garner? Because chocolates, with regards to what Amul has come out with, that's really picking stream, especially if you have to talk about the ones which
Dark chocolate.
side.
You see, we are in the chocolate market from mid-70s. Dr. Varghese Kurian decided to enter into chocolate market when cocoa farmers in the South India exploited. So we put up a small plant at Anand, and we were for last 30, 40 years, we were running full capacity and we were happy because our focus is milk. We found that whatever investments we make in milk are giving us better dividend returns instead of in chocolates. But then we realized that we did an experiment of dark chocolate, worked very well. And then we expanded our capacity to 5 times. Again, after expanding to 5 times our capacity, is 100% capacity utilization is there. And now we are thinking of doubling it. And we have become number 1 as far as Amul chocolate is concerned in the dark chocolate variety. I mean, today we have shifted people from the more sugary or to the dark chocolate side chocolate, and we are happy. We have created, and more than the, you see, it is more than the chocolate market share. That it has really taken very positive impact on Amul brand.
Correct.
Because millennials, youngsters, it has really said Amul is the premium brand as far as food is concerned, and it has helped us in our brand image. So we are continuing. We are the most modern chocolate plant in India and doing very well.
I mean, absolutely, it's doing very well. And the last question, Mr. Sodhi, everyone in India has this: how can we make investments in Amul? When do we see Amul listing in the secondary markets? Are there any plans on that front?
You see, any shareholders invest in a company for what purpose? You invest for the returns. You invest for the profit.
Correct.
And today Amul is owned by 3.6 million shareholders who are small farmers and who are also suppliers of milk. So they are not interested in dividend or the profit. They are interested in getting good price for the milk. Now imagine if we list Amul shares, the new shareholders will want more profits. They like to buy milk at the lowest price. The existing shareholder want to sell milk at a max. So there is a conflict of interest. In fact, in Australia, some new CEO came from a multinational. He 50% he listed his cooperative, and within 3 or 4 years, the company was sold, liquidated, purchased by a Canadian company. It's nowhere. So I don't think there is any need for a cooperative to get listed when it is owned by the suppliers.
Right. I mean, that's a valid point that you've made over here as well. I think a lot of people will have to turn into farmers to get a share of Amul, I think, going ahead.
No, but there's no, you see, dairy is a good, India, dairy investment is a good scope because only 1/3 is organized, 2/3 industry is still unorganized. So a lot of opportunity there in dairy on food per se. But the only thing is one has to see what type of company I have seen a lot of companies have come into dairy arena and they want to become overnight all India brands, overnight distribute. That is the biggest mistake they're doing.
Right.
I mean, one has to be very, in food, in India, you can't be a national. See, India is a country like Europe.
Mm.
I mean, there's so many countries. So why you want to become market leader or that is why they are not able to get the good results.
Correct. Correct.
Thought of going all India.
Right. I think that's an interesting point that you've made. But thank you, Mr. Sodi. Thank you for joining in. We are very happy at Nirmal Bang here to have you to talk to all of us, to our retail clients as well. A lot of people that have joined the webinar, a lot of questions that have been answered. We will come back to you soon to understand how things have changed post-COVID as well, how things have improved, what's happening around. But thank you very much for joining us on the show. That's all that we have on this episode. In fact, you could subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Hiroji. Thank you. Nice.